the third, so there's actually three sources. If you talk, if we go down the rabbit hole, other than the psychics and Plato, there's a third source, which is the mystery schools, which nobody wants to talk about. But what did the mystery schools become? They became like all of these secret societies, the Rosicrucians, the Freemasons. There's some Freemasons here you can go ask them about. Atlantis and Lemuria are mentioned in all of their texts, right? These are mystery schools. They say that they're keeping the tradition of Atlantis alive, and they've been around for thousands of years, right? So like you can poo-poo it, and I know the archaeologists are going to hate to hear it, but it's fun. It's fun to talk about it. I mean, that's why we're here, right? So what did the mystery schools say? They said there was an Atlantis, and then there was a Lemuria in the Pacific. So Atlantis was in the Atlantic, and Lemuria was in the Pacific, and they had a war, and Lemuria actually disappeared before Atlantis. So I don't know. To me, I think that's very interesting with all the stuff that's in the Pacific. You've got Penang Padang, you've got Nan Madol, you've got Easter Island. Perhaps that was another civilization because they have kind of a different style than pyramids and things like that.
Pre-Atlantis.
Can I?
Pre-Atlantis.
I love this question. I love what you said. I love it. Things about what we're doing is obviously we're trying to keep everything as scientific as possible. However, when investigating such a subject, you have to read almost everything, right? In Edgar Cayce's book on Atlantis, out of his 30,000 plus readings, 14,000 of those, almost half, were regarding Atlantis. And anybody who's read that book, it's a wonderful read. And it's very peculiar because he goes into this sort of a trance-like state where he embodies, in a sense, different entities. And what's curious about it is that every single one of those readings, unless he's tapping into the same entity, every time the entity changes, there's a significant change in the way he's writing. You can also distinguish that, like if he's in some of his readings, if he's talking about different epochs of the age of Atlantis, further back he goes, the more abstract this entity becomes, almost as if to suggest that this entity was almost a pre-human, but also human. So I think those writings are marvelous. Obviously, what we're doing, we have to present something to the world in a palatable way. And if we start to venture into, there's no doubt that I'd love to one day write a book about the esoteric elements of Atlantis,